How are you doing today? How has the growth factory been for you, as a person? What has been your take home, from the previous episode? This is episode 4, right? I'm super excited. I can't wait for 2026 because we're going to be having a whole year stretch, and I'm really, really excited at what that means for businesses and what that means for us, as a people, right? So somebody share with me how has it been so far before we go into the conversation today. So anyone who wants to volunteer to go live, who wants to share with us? Right.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Babs.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for
Yeah,
the another opportunity to dig into it.
yeah,
For me, it's been eye opener and um, like an opportunity to see the future and to start crafting it and having the right tools, which is necessary to start thinking about. Okay, these are the things you start putting in place. These are things you should. These are you should be thinking about the future. These are the things that are possible. These are the things you can start doing. These are the way you can piece it all together. Like piecing the picture I have seen in the past. Now trying to bring the different elements and ingredients together to achieve that vision. So that's what it has been for me. And good that is coming at this end of the year, whereby some will be talking about how to plan into next year, next 5 years, extend 10 years again. So that conversation is actually helping me, for instance, to be okay. What are the things I want to pick up additionally to what I'm already doing that I will want to do next year, and strategically now say, okay, some of the things I've left pending for years, is it now time to actually start taking them on? In terms of business, that I've registered a company before, but in terms of developing it into what I've envisioned it to be, I think is this is more like um, a signal for me, and I think it's time to go all out with it
yeah.
and start developing into the right idea. And, yeah, so thank you. You're equipping with the right set of tools that will help me to actually put every round peg in a round hole and the square pegs in a square hole. So thank you so much,
Amazing.
sir.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. I think Pamela also raised hand. Do you still want to share?
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you, sir. For me, it's been more of the discipline I've gained over the journey I started with you since July.
Oh,
Really,
wow. Wow.
sometimes
Wow.
sometimes um, for some of us, we know ourselves. We are like somebody usually tells me, I say, you're a good starter, but you're not a good finisher. Those
Mm,
words usually sticks with me, and I'm always conscious of anything I start. I really actually want to finish it.
mm,
It has been more of discipline for me. I missed the first class, then I had to make up my mind that no, I'm not going to miss the second class. I will not miss any other class till we
mm,
finish this class. And aside from being a discipline for me, it has opened me up to new ways of thinking.
mhm,
Actually, I'm still on that first class. I still keep going back to it. Look, I have so many crosses in my books. By the time I listen to it again, there's something again that clicks. I need to correct, I need to update, something that I see
mm,
in a better light. So it has really helped my mind to expand and to
mm,
think corporately and not just see it as a small business.
mhm,
I was
mhm,
sharing with my husband recently. I have my book full, so and I was sharing, and I like when I go through the lessons, Anything I come up with, anything my mind can conceive, I like sharing it and putting it in pictures to him and telling him, oh, this is what I learned in class, and I thought about this, I thought about that. And we've both been able to get to a place of thinking like billionaires. Yes.
Wow. Amazing.
So it has really expanded
Amazing.
our mind. Thank you so much,
Amazing.
sir.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. You know, the thing about having a language, right? So people's vocabulary determines their behaviors. Once you can see it consistently, after a while, you start thinking like it. And once you start thinking like it, then boom, the ideas on how to implement it will just flow, right? So this is so amazing for me, and I want to thank you both for sharing your stories. I'm super excited about what is coming, and that is actually what makes today's class very, very crucial. Today's class is very crucial, very essential. Why? Because for you to scale, you need to understand the pillars that hold any business. So this is not a new invention by me. I just studied it and tried to understand it. And I'll try to break it down as much as possible for every one of us to comprehend, right? So the business model canvas is not a new thing, right? It's been out there for many, many decades. But the pillars of the business model canvas are essential. Once you understand it, then you can tell yourself which of the pillars am I supposed to work on better to become a bigger person, to become a better person, So, and on your journey to making your billions, you need to understand the pillars on which your business is resting. So that's what we are discussing today. But before we enter into it, I'd like to remind us again what our vision is here at the Growth Factory to build 1,000 billionaires by 2035. And when I use the word build, I am very conscious of the responsibility of building because I know that building always entails tearing down. Building always entails that you pieces something, the whole place is rough, but then there's a big picture you have, there's a model you have. After a while, things start taking shape. So for someone who is looking at it like, oh, not again. Why am I even coming to this class? Why am I listening to this guy? Right? It can be tedious at the beginning, but if you do that work of laying the right foundation, I'm telling you, boom, you're gonna soar, right? So, and the mission here is to equip MSMEs and emerging entrepreneurs.
What is
Let
it?
me mute you. Right. Good, good. So to equip MSMEs and emerging entrepreneurs with transformative knowledge, strategic tools, growth capital, and a supportive community that enables them to build sustainable, globally competitive businesses. So, like I said, the first step, the first layer of this whole vision is the knowledge we are sharing, right? As we go through 2026, the other tools will start coming in, the strategic tools, the growth capital, the supportive community, all of those things will come in. But we can't, start everything at the same time. We have to start, in starting anything, you start from the minimal thing you can do. And we know that the minimal thing we can do is to talk to ourselves. Let's start with the education. Once we are all on the same page as to where we are going, then we can then proceed on the journey. So this is week 4 of our growth factory, and we're looking at the business model canvas today. Like I explained to us, the business model canvas helps you to fully understand the pillars on which your business stands, right? And for you to scale, you need to look at the pillars and say, which one do I need to increase for me to have the kind of income that I need to have, right? So we've done the last week recap. So working at what's a business model, customer value proposition. So these are all the things we'll cover. I'm going to try to bring them, just crunch the whole thing into about 35, 40 minutes max, right? I don't want us to go last week we really went deep. It was deep, right? So let's start with this. Can somebody guess the business model? So I will know those who were in class last week. So if you're in class last week, just mention any one of these brands I have displayed and tell us what model they are using, right? So anyone, right?
MTN subscription and service model.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. Any other person?
Yeah,
Anyone?
Netflix subscription model.
Subscription
Yes,
model Netflix. Yes, that's true.
Netflix.
Yeah. All right. Any other one? Any
The
other?
the Uber doesn't really have cars. I've forgotten the name of that model. So it engages, brings people's cars in while giving them
I
the
was
platform.
actually looking for that model. I was also looking at my
Right. So, is it rental?
Uh, well, yes, yes. Then Jumia is brick and mortar, you know,
Yeah,
e-commerce.
brick and mortar e-commerce. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. So is Uber rental? Think about it.
should be rental.
Yes, it is rental. Yes, yes, they rent
Because
your car.
every time you book a ride, you rent the ride for that time, right? And then you pay. So what Uber does is that Uber uses the drivers, right, to deliver the passenger from where they are to where they want to be. So, but Uber makes a cut on every trade, for every ride. Uber makes a cut, but then the people, it's kind of a rental model, but then they don't own any of the rights. That's the beautiful thing about it, right? So, what about Dangote? I think Dangote is manufacturing.
Dangote manufacturing. Yes,
Yeah.
manufacturing.
Manufacturing. Okay.
Also, and Apple.
Manufacturing.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Apple is a combination
I
of,
think it's a mix though. Because
yeah,
Dangote is manufacturing and also doing distribution and wholesale.
yeah. It's a whole lot of, it's a we said last week that you can actually have you know a mix of different models, just like Apple too. Apple does, they manufacture, at the same time they do servicing, right? At the same time they do subscription, so it's a mix, right? It's a mix. So um now as we relate with different businesses, it's good we can easily say, oh, this is what this person is doing, oh, that is what that person is doing. It helps us to be able to appreciate those businesses better, right? So, and that's what the business model canvas is about. So a business model is basically a blueprint that describes how a company creates, delivers, and captures value. A business model is the logic by which a company sustains itself financially, is the logic. So what people see, as you run your business and all of that, is what is outside, but the logic itself, the wheel driving the whole thing, is what makes your business succeed. And then every successful company owns a distinct logic that makes it win. If your logic cannot win, there's nothing you want to do. So you need to be able to see it from end to end, and then you can say, yes, this is where we're going. And that's why I said that this is what the business model canvas is all about. So maybe a question I will ask us is, what is the logic of how your business makes money? Can somebody describe the flow? Let's get one or two volunteers. Can you describe the flow of, we did this last week, but let me hear from you now. So how does your business work? Can somebody share with us? What's the logic? What's the flow from end to end? Can we have one or two persons to share with us tonight? How do you make money? How does your business work? Okay, please go ahead, ma'am.
Basically, we render market run services, basically sourcing, and we are trying to add to the sourcing processing of those foodstuffs for families, organization, corporate organization, association, and all the likes. As long as you want foodstuff from the Nigerian market, Nigerian fresh foodstuff, we supply. Okay, we source and we supply. So we offer service, that service. So like I said, we are just trying to add the prepping, which is the processing. For example, if you buy beans, if you want to buy beans from the market, we buy the beans, but we would prep it for you by picking the beans. Or if you want vegetables, we prep it for you by cutting. So that's the main business that we are into. And we also do protein. So anything Nigerian food items, proteins, grains, we source and we supply them fresh from the market at affordable prices.
So how do you make money? Can you describe how you make money?
We
So
start serving.
what value do you deliver to your client?
The first value we deliver to our clients is to save them time. Okay.
Okay.
Most of our clients are career people, either they are business owners or they are working in a corporate organization, and they hardly have time to go to the market. Okay, so for example, I was a banker for about 7 years, and in those 7 years, I could hardly get to the main big market. So when I'm coming from the office, is either I buy from nearby markets. So what we are saving our customers is time, is effort, and the money, because they get to buy food items at cheaper prices. Because if you buy more, you'll be able to get them at lesser prices, especially from the bigger market where supplies comes to directly from farms. So that's the value
Okay.
we are offering customers.
All right. So how do you deliver to your customers?
Okay, depending on the weight of the items, we the weight of the items actually determine the mode of transportation. We basically use car delivery or bike delivery. For example, if we are doing our protein sharing, protein is not heavy, except the customer is asking for maybe a whole cow or half a cow, and we know that a single bike cannot carry the other. Then we engage cars. So majorly we engage Uber. We engage Bolt in delivery, and some other private logistic companies.
Okay, beautiful. So we're going to discuss the business model canvas in a few minutes from now. And I want you to note the 9 pillars of the business model canvas. And then by the time we are done, I want you to be able to tell me, how do you hope to scale this business to a billion naira business? Let's start with naira, right? How do you hope to scale this business to a billion naira business? So so just follow the conversation, and then at the end of it, I will call upon you again. So then you now look at what the kind of questions that I expect you to be able to answer in looking at all your business processes, right? And then how does this, become a billion-dollar business? Why is it important, right? So how much profit are you making right now, right? And how can you scale? Scaling means that you increase the number of customers you have significantly, and it also means that you scale your operations significantly. It also means that you utilize technology. So there are a whole lot of things involved with scaling, and it's important you are able to identify all of these things. So, and of course, when we are also talking about becoming a global brand, so how then can we take this thing beyond the shores of Nigeria and still make it work in the US, make it work in UK, make it work in France, make it work in Turkey? So we're going to, discuss a bit of that. So I have another hand up. I don't know if, all right, Mr. Godwin, you can go ahead, sir.
Oh yes, so basically what we do is we move goods from point A to point B
That's
globally.
logistics.
Yes, logistics. So that's how we solve the movement problem. So we like to consider ourselves as the hero of movement. So we practically solve problems by helping clients move their goods from point A to point B with the minimum the less cost possible. Speed is of essence in our business. So how fast you can get it to point B and how less expensive you can get it to point B. So these are very key factors that determine, that they drive our value. When the client is involved, consider that is for our client. So speed and cost. So these are
So
these
that's
are the
those are
values
the values. Yeah.
yes, speed, cost, and basically, yeah, speed and cost. Basically, speed and cost.
All right. All right. So delivery basically is moving the goods from wherever they are to where they want the goods to be, right?
Exactly,
So then you make money by, putting your service charge, on each transaction. All right.
exactly. And
All right.
ensuring that while we are moving, we're also compliant, with all the local laws, customs, the regulatory agencies. We're moving the goods, in compliance with all the prevailing, agencies, so that you won't deliver a particular product and in a couple of months' time or in the future, NAFDAC or SON, they will query them and they get to spend more or they'll be fined initially. So moving those goods compliantly across borders.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So you just talked about a pillar there, which is the key partners, right? The people that you need to work with to be able to deliver your products. Good.
Exactly.
So so basically these are the 9 pillars of the business model canvas. So talking about customer segments, value proposition, your channels, your customer relationships, revenue streams, key activities, key resources, key partners, and cost structure. So to help our understanding of this, one of the things I have done is to classify all of these 9 pillars and break them down into 3 groups each, right? So we're going to take it group by group, and then I will like I said, I want this class to be as interactive as possible so that somebody is picking something. It's not just what I am saying, but what we are all saying and we are all learning together, right? So the first one is the customer and value proposition, right? So you have your customer, and then you have a value that you are offering them. So I want to ask a question. So let's do it this way. I will ask a question. Somebody would answer that question, and then another person would would provide the response to the answer. So this is it. Can you think of a problem that a typical problem that a customer has? Just any field. If you like, you can use something in your field, but I want somebody to answer that. Think of a problem, in any field, in any business, right? Just mention one problem. Anyone.
Communication problem.
Okay, communication problem. Good. So people have communication problem. And then I want 2 or 3 persons to tell us, what values do you think we can offer to solve communication problem? Let's brainstorm and design something. So we know that people have communication problem. Now, communication is big. Communication problem can be internal communication in a business. Communication problem can be um, communicating between Lagos and Kaduna. That is communication problem. Communication problem can be maybe for security people, they don't have enough walkie-talkies, or they don't have, they don't have what do they call this? Like surveillance. They don't have surveillance, so they are not able to communicate in real time to know what issues are. So maybe we should break down the communication. So what part of communication are we trying to solve?
Interconnectivity. Let's start from there.
Interconnectivity in terms of mobile interconnectivity, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes. I
Okay,
think that
okay,
is
good. Okay, good. So mobile interconnectivity, people have problems, but I think MTN and Co are already solving that. So what values can we provide to solve interconnectivity problem? Now, I want us to think outside of the box. We know there's MTN, there's Glo, there's Airtel here in Nigeria, right? So what can we still do in terms of interconnectivity that these guys are not offering yet that can stand somebody out? If you come into that industry today, what do you think you can do differently from what these big giants are already doing? Anyone? The floor is open, anyone?
Okay, what readily comes to my mind is that using my own challenge in the market.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no telecommunication company that is offering direct language interpretation or conversion, if I'm permitted to use that word. So
Mm.
when an Hausa guy calls me and he's going blah 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 blah, blah, I don't understand. There's no translator,
Mm. Mm.
translator
Mm.
while a call is going on. Yes, we have it when you are typing. You have it when you receive a picture, or you receive, because if most of the gadget that comes from China that are written in Chinese, you can snap and use Google Lens to get the translation. But vocal communication, there is no direct translation. That's what readily came to my head.
Wow, this is super amazing. Wow. Wow. This is super amazing. Do you know why I'm just wowed? This is what happens when you bring people together in a room, right? You can imagine that we're already creating a business right now. Already, right? So you want to call somebody in France, for example, and you can't speak French. The person doesn't understand English. So once you just dial, you say your French, you say your English, but the person is hearing French because that is the language they can understand. And when the person responds, the person speaks French, but you hear English. This is amazing. This is super amazing. So if I can close shop now, just go. Right. Right. So I'm super excited. So this is how we actually think, right? When it comes to creating value, you look at a problem. So and when you are trying to enter a market, you want to enter in a way that you can stand out. So in positioning, we call that the blue ocean strategy, right? In the red ocean, there are a lot of sharks there already. Everybody is doing all manner of things and they are killing themselves, right? So for the blue ocean, you want to position yourself in such a way that what are these guys not doing or they are not doing well that I can do better? And then that goes to boom. So this is something that you want to you want to leverage on and be able to do, right? So and maybe another service we can render in addition to that is creating an app that can interpret for you. When you go to the market, you are talking to an Hausa guy, you don't know any Hausa, so you speak to the app in English and then choose the language you want the app to interpret to. So once you speak, then the app speaks Hausa, you put it on speaker so the guy hears what you are saying. Then he also speaks his Hausa into the app, then the app interprets back to you in English, right? So the the possibilities are endless, but I hope we understand what we are driving at. This is what
Yes, and then the communication companies will now have to integrate that app into their systems.
exactly, exactly. Right. So, well, I don't know who this is for. I know this is also going on YouTube. So, whoever, maybe I might start something, but whoever this is for, whoever can enter this market first, just think about it. Think about the possibilities, that I know that for international conferences, they already use a service like that, where they plug something into their ear, and when somebody is saying, they are hearing their own language.
Hearing own
Yes,
language,
so
yes.
it is now how to scale it to become a global thing, such that somebody is speaking a language, but you are hearing your own language. So if they can do it for conferences like that, that means that it is actually possible to scale it. It's just as nobody is thinking about scaling it for now, right? So now, in developing your customer and your value proposition, you need to understand who is your customer, who exactly are you trying to reach. The uh, um, the clearer you are about who you are trying to serve, the more likely that you will be able to hit them, the more likely that you'll be able to attract them. So who is your customer? Now, one of the things you will try to do, primarily, is having your customer profile, because if we're talking about making billions, the kind of money, the kind of business you are doing, you must be able to serve institutions with that your business. So a government quarter calls you and say, we want you to be our official supplier of food, you know, already you know what that means. That's a big contract, it's a mega contract, right? So you need to be able to segment your customers and say, these are the kind of people we are looking at. So what you are running right now is a B2C model. You are servicing individuals, right? How much can you really make off the individuals that can scale to become a billion? How can you begin to target institutions, right? Target retail outlets, becoming their official supplier, right? So think about this. I know that for many of the retail outlets, the manufacturers themselves, a lot of the time, they bring the product themselves, right? So, but could there be a value chain somewhere, along the line that could help you to scale your business, right? So what job are they trying to get done? Like the example we use, the job is that they don't have time. They are very busy executives. So busy executives, um, so what job are they trying to get done? They want to solve this shopping problem, but these guys don't just have time, right? And what pains are they trying to avoid? For many of them, the pain of going to the market, the pain of having to be negotiating, meeting different people. Many of these guys are high class people, in quote, high class, though they want the most for the best price, but they don't want to soil themselves in court, right? And the nature of our markets in Nigeria, people just don't want, those kind of things, right? So is it also possible that you can begin to think of having retail outlets that sell raw food in a way that those people would be willing to walk in to buy? I hope somebody's getting what I'm saying. So we are using familiar business now as a model, right? So yes, right now you are going to the market to shop for them. And the reason they don't want to go to the market is because many of our markets are very local. The way those markets are, somebody who is touche in quote will not want to enter those places. Can we create, um, retail outlets that sell fresh farm produce where people can drive in, shop, and um, yeah, somebody said and dirty, right? Can we create retail outlets where people can walk in, shop, and then somebody helps them pack the bags of food, rice, gari, put it inside their vehicles, and then they just drive away. So I believe that once we start creating those kinds of options, it's possible that people will not depend so much on the middlemen that go to the market for them. And I may be talking about the future of your business, ma. If you don't pay attention, once we start having those kind of retail outlets, I learned there is one market right now in motion, where they sell, all manner of things like that, and the place is a bit okay, and I know people go there to shop, right? So once we begin to have markets like that, outlets like that, where the elite could walk in, clean, pick their stuff, then the demand for a shopper might then begin to drop. So you might want to start preparing for that future, because that is where the money is. If you can get one, two retail outlets like that, trust me, boom, you're gonna blow, right? So you want to comment on that, right? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, like you mentioned, Lagos State did something like that in Oshi. Very neat environment and all that. Earlier in the business, the idea that I had was something like that, but in a smaller version, because I realized that one of the major reasons why food are expensive in certain areas of Lagos is majorly because of logistics and the how will I put it now? I've forgotten the economy word, capacity in such areas. For example, if you want to do such a thing, you need a lot of money. So I was thinking of having like an empty crane in a space where I don't have to pay billions and millions for shop space inside a mall and all that. Something creative in that, in a little form, that will not increase the business cost and will still serve as a retail outlet for fresh food items, and also it will edge against the cost of logistics, because one of the major problems and challenges we are having right now is the cost of logistics to those particular areas, because by the time they add the delivery cost to the items they are buying, many of them will say, oh, I would rather buy around me, because with the cost of logistics, I'm already buying, it's already the same price with what they sell around me. So we also consider that, and thank you, because it's also the future. The retail aspect is also the future, but it costs a lot and it eats deep into the business cost, which eventually, for most businesses that I've seen that have done it in a big way, is not sustainable. So, but with this class,
All right. So this
taking
this
another.
is what I will tell you, ma'am. In the growth factory, there is no small thinking. Anything is possible. Are you with me, ma'am? In the growth
Yes.
factory, anything is possible. So when we talk about scaling, right? Scaling means that you are going to have um, you are going to take charge of a whole lot of things. You will have access to some kind of funds that will take care of the logistics, take care of all those things. So by the time you scale over your volume of transaction, and the kind of people you serve, you'll realize that you will make your money back in no time, right? So don't say that you're going to do. Yes, you might start with a small outlet, but that shouldn't be your ultimate. Like, it has to be a small outlet. You can have something massive, right? So there's no small thinking here. We are billionaires. Billionaires don't think small, right? So have the big picture. Start however you may want to start, and having access to those kind of funds also starts with you paying attention to your records. Your records has to be straight so you can track your progress, so that when it is time to obtain funds to do something bigger, they can look at your books and say, yes, what you are doing is already profitable. So scaling then becomes easier. So I just thought to mention that. Pay attention to your records, run it like a standard business, have it registered, right? So that whatever funds come, then you know that it's easier for you to manage, right? Babs, I saw your hand. Do you still want to talk?
Yes, I wanted to add, you've already touched on some of the things I mentioned. In terms of scaling this type of business that Madam has, I think it is necessary to point that when you need to scale certain things or eliminate, okay, we're talking about the cost of logistics, and I was also thinking that when it comes to perishable goods, right? If you want to scale, you know, if we look at what Boku is doing, Boku is bringing what do you call it? Very cheap, um, lowest cost to your neighborhood. I believe that's one of their biggest selling point. The fact that they are telling you that all the products you need to get, is rather than go to ShopRite to get it at that price, we'll bring it to your area. One of the major problems I think they solved is actually logistics. Logistics in terms of how they distribute those products in such a way that the cost of transporting them between manufacturer, their own warehouse, and the different Boku outlets actually doesn't have huge impact at the end of the day on the individual product. So it might be the major problem we are actually going to solve for the customers, whereby we want to get fresh foods to your doorstep or closest to you at almost no cost or little cost, that you will consider buying from this our outlet than buying from any other place, because you're going to get it at your lower cost. So I also now think about another problem, which is when you get perishables into your stores, you might end up having those perishables perishing if people don't come to demand for it. So I have thought about it. You might have to also deal with another value chain of processing, whereby
Yeah.
things that don't go
And
within
preservation.
and preservation. You see, that means that when you are scaling, I believe that you now need to deal with multiple chain, the value chain, deal with the different issues at the different value chain, such that you create a chain around the value chains of every value proposition that one has. So it might just not be only the core value that is being given. You might have to delve into a whole lot of more. I think Jumia did it when they have to deliver and they have to do Jumia delivery. They did Jumia Pay, which handles payment gateway. They did delivery. They did warehousing.
Yeah, I was going to
They
mention
did
that.
a number of things just to support their core e-commerce and marketplace side. I think Dangote is also doing the fact that he did Dangote refinery. He had to bring in trucks to help deliver those petroleum products to the different outlets at almost at no cost for the marketers. So they won't say it's because of they don't have the trucks to deliver. That's why they don't. So I think when you think about that, we're discussing that this particular problem spaces. So those are the things that were coming to my mind, that you just have to need to just expand and start solving connected problems. And by the time you know it, you are actually starting multiple businesses while trying to solve those connected sub problems.
All right, thank you. Like I said, I know this session will be interactive. Lide Foods, over to you. Lide Foods, you raised your hand. Who is Lide
Okay.
Foods?
Good evening. So I'm new here. It's my first time. Good evening, everyone. I was invited.
Welcome to the Growth Factory. All right.
I was invited by Pamilere.
Oh,
So
beautiful, beautiful.
I just want to, yeah, we are in the same line of business.
All right.
So I just want to chip in. So I understand where Pamilere is coming from, but I think for our own kind of business is for you to scale. We just need to have like a plan. Maybe like a five. They like you have Price Pally now. Price Pally have their warehouse where they stock up and all of that. For we that we are just we are not just starting, we've been in business for a while, but it's just for us saying that you having a plan to say maybe in another 5 years, this is where I'm going to be. Because for you to do that magnitude of business, you must have off takers. It's very important because they are perishables. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm so?
Yeah.
You'll have built that your customer base to that level where it's not only B2C you're doing B2B too as well. So that you
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
and be dealing directly with the farmers. So that you know that when farmers are coming in with like 100 crates, like 60 of it is gone already, or 40 of, or like 80% of it is gone already with your off takers. But it's part of scaling. I would like to, so I understand when Pamela said it's a lot of money, but I believe that, like you said, we keeping our records, having your records, because you never can tell when you have that grant opportunity where you have investors that will come in to say, you know what, can I, because they will ask for your books. Okay, so what are your plans? If I say this is where I see myself in the next 5 years, they can bring that 5 years to 3 years, 2 years, but you must have something to show for it. So when Camilla talks about it's a lot of money, I get it, but at the same time too, one should prepare for that opportunity, because you never can tell when somebody would come, when that grant opportunity would come, when you have, I think it's the angel investors you call them. And if you have that kind of, all this price pile and all of that, I'm sure those are the things too that they are riding on. If you have funds, who says you cannot be as big as them? But the most important thing is that how prepared are you? So I just want to chip that in.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm liking this. I'm really, really liking this because see, don't say anything is too big, right? So there is one of the billionaires that I know very well, where I worship. So he said, okay, when he started his business, he was supplying diesel to companies in trucks, in fact, borrowed trucks, right? He was supplying diesel. Then after a while, he got some money and he was able to buy his own truck. And then he was doing the trucking thing. And then after a while, he said, the distance that these trucks travel is too much. That why don't we have stations close to the people we are supplying? That's how he started station business. And when he started the station business, he realized that now has a lot of trucks. So he needed to be able to manage his trucks. So he started a truck mechanic business that will be where their major work is taking care of his trucks, but they also service other companies too, right? So different problems will come, but different problems come with different opportunities because they are solutions, right? So, but we cannot say because this thing is big, therefore we will not attempt it. Billionaires don't think like that. There's nothing big, nothing. It's all here in the mind. It's all here, right? So we can all do it. So let's keep projecting. Let's keep believing. The times will come, the opportunities will come, the right relationships will come, but we need to be prepared, like they said. So good. So the next block we want to look at is the 4 blocks of delivery, which are the channels, the relationships, the revenue, and the costs, right? So we've talked about the customer, we've talked about the value. So let's look at the channels. So where are you? How are your customers locating you? How do they know that you exist? So let's go back. So should we take another business or we should continue with the food business? So anybody wants to tell us. So where are you? How are your customers being able to locate you? Right. So let's take another business now. But I believe that we understand what we're looking at. So who wants us to use their business as an example?
Let's take the logistics business, sir.
Okay, good, good. So let's take logistics business. So as a logistics business, how how do your customers know that you exist? How are you selling yourself? How are you putting yourself out there? In what channels can they find you? Where do they even know that you exist? All right. So where is that our brother? Is he still around? All
Yes,
right,
I'm
Mr.
here. I'm here.
Godwin. Yes, please.
Yeah, so basically, we it is more of marketing in terms of the website and word of mouth.
When you say
So
website, that's your personal website.
yes, personal website and even the company's website. Okay, are we making it very, very, very personal now, right?
Well, let's discuss your business. There's nothing to let's
Okay,
discuss
good,
it. Yeah.
good,
So
good. So
how do people know that you exist?
yes, so I'm very heavy on social media
All
because of
right.
the nature of my business. You know, it
Right.
is majorly a B2B, so I'm very heavy on LinkedIn. In fact,
Okay.
that's the only platform that I'm prioritizing right now, LinkedIn. Then in the future, very soon, I might extend to X and Facebook and just keep it at that. But for now, solely on LinkedIn. So from there, I get to meet other, businesses. So that's where the networking begins. Then from there, from discussing with people, then they also spread your word again. Oh, he does this, he does this. So majorly on LinkedIn for now. Majorly on LinkedIn for now.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. How do you engage your customers? How do you keep the relationship lines open?
So let's say I meet someone on LinkedIn, then we exchange email addresses. Then I'll follow up from there. Then I now send him now get to discuss to share more details on email. And then we can also go to discuss on WhatsApp. So majorly what I do now is once I've established that connection on LinkedIn, then we now exchange emails. Then you can also take it a step further by also making it more personal via WhatsApp. So that's how we relate. That's how I relate with my clients.
Okay, so there's a question I want to ask, and I want anybody to be able to, to chime in, right? So now, how do you think you can have a pool of customers instead of you reaching out to people one on one? How do you think you can have a pool of customers that you can always reach out to, every now and then, and you know that out of that pool, at one point or another, one person, two persons will do business with you. I hope the question is clear, right? All right. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
All right. So Babs, um, how do you think we can help our brother to generate a pool of cost that he is always talking to? So, Babs, please, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. So
Mhm.
for logistics business, I think two two things is to identify businesses that have customers that would do um repeated price
Business. Mm.
business. So for instance, let's say I know what most though if it's intracity, that's last mile, for instance, they partner with food canteens, they partner with um eateries, whereby if you order the food, you have the option to pick delivery. Same thing, now you can partner with, so if it's interstate, they want to look at who are the people who send things interstate, where do they reside? They partner with those people. I mean, they have existing platform. So these are leveraging existing platform so I want to use the last mile, which is very common, so that, but for interstate, I might not have the very right now example. For existing platforms, somebody who has customer work order food from them, they actually need somebody to drop it, to take it to the customer. So what I know someone who runs a Chicken Republic, for instance, franchise, two Chicken Republic franchise. So they have a platform where, so this someone has now created a platform where the likes of Glovo, what's their name? They integrate to their platform. They get the orders from there. So the platform is not owned by Glovo. It's not owned by any of the delivery companies. But they go there to fulfill their order, Gokada and all those things. So the orders pop up. They sign up on the app. The order pops up. So they always have customers for those delivery companies, they will always have customers. So it's to look at who are the people who sends, okay, so for instance, let's say clothing stores, for instance. If you know people do clothing stores and they send it outside Lagos, a lot of people buy clothes from Balogun market and then want to send it to Sokoto, send it to Kwara, send it to somewhere. You might even they want to send it outside the country. So identifying those either businesses or customers that have the opportunity of doing repeated purchases and leveraging on their existing structure to say, okay, maybe go to Balogun market and tell us that if you have customers who are calling in for order, we are available to do delivery. Lagos, Ogun, Port Harcourt, and all those things. So it's you are leveraging, it starts like leverage. You are leveraging on their existing customer base who actually have a need for that services that you are providing. And especially logistics now, everybody wants to send packages from one place to the other all the time. But it's those who now do it repeatedly, who their business actually almost will not function without having a need to deliver to this. So what can help also is to now have digital platforms that allows you to bring those people in, if they don't have, into the platform and say, okay, making it easy to coordinate, making order, tracking delivery, which is what many delivery company actually does. If you go on, let's say, Alibaba, for instance, they are able to help you to track.
Oh, man, Babs, can you help us summarize it?
So technology also coming into the place where you create a marketplace where merchants can also sign up. So it will help to, so that's my own contributions.
All right. Pamela, you wanted to say something too?
So before she chips in, I think I should give a background. I run is an international logistics business. So in terms of we deal mainly with freight, with cargo, you know. So like freight forwarding or like customs clearance, clearing and forwarding, then haulage as well. So yeah, like you said. So I just wanted to give that background.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Right. So, Pamela, you wanted to say something?
Okay, so I'm backing down with the background you just gave because when you said logistics, I'm thinking about logistics in my own kind of business, like bike and car delivery system. But with the background you has given, I'll go and think about it.
All right. So let's look at even the freight business, right? So you're doing international delivery. For customers, uh, is it possible you have a WhatsApp channel, for example, where you are being able to send resources to people? Um, is it possible you do some after delivery services that helps you to check on your customers to know how well they are doing? You know, is it possible you create a mailing list that keeps you in touch with them so that it's not just a one-off business kind of a thing, right? So I was just thinking of that based on what you just said now. So I'm also thinking on my feet now because what I thought before was, oh, normal logistics, you undo delivery and all, but once you begin to see it like that, then I think that there are a lot of ways by which you can sustain that interaction such that because you are always in their face, it's a lot easier for them to then say, oh, let's recommend let's recommend this person or let's it's easier for them to then showcase your business to others, right? So Lide Foods also raised her hand. Let's hear what she has to say.
Okay. So for Mr. Yo, I just need. So you said knowledge, you said fright, right? And what other? What other? So who actually are your target customers? Because I'm just thinking that why LinkedIn? I'm not saying you will not get people from LinkedIn. Who are your target customers? Who are your target clients? So in my head, I'm just thinking, we have communities, you have associations. Have you tried to look into that? Um, so who are your target customers? Who are your target clients? Can they only be gotten on LinkedIn? Because me, I've seen, I don't know, maybe it's the way I view LinkedIn though. I see it as a more I'm telling you, I would like you. Because when you said LinkedIn, even for the all age is all and gas, if I'm right, right? So I just feel that, have you tried to look at communities? Have you tried to look at associations?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is far
yeah,
beyond LinkedIn. This, I think you need. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe you can speak to that, but I think that you should look, since it's an international thing, you should try to look at associations, try to look at communities that you
yeah.
can go
All
in.
these oil and gas associations,
Yes, yes,
Pengasan,
you can do
yeah.
LinkedIn too, but
Mm,
I
cool.
think it's
All
more
right,
of it.
let's allow him to respond, and then
Okay.
we'll move to the next one, right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Well, my target customers are manufacturers, actually, businesses that manufacture. Any business that
and
manufactures.
export.
Yes, export
So
businesses that
are you a
manufacture
member
items.
of MAN, man?
No, no, no. I don't manufacture.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So no, so like what she just said
Yeah, you
now.
need to belong to all these
Being a member
associations.
of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria gives you leverage because you will be in their meetings, you will be so you can find out because I was in okay, there was one business seminar I attended online on Saturday, and one of the facilitators was one of the directors in MAN. I think that's why I could easily remember. Like she said, right? So LinkedIn is good, but also people that you see, you'll be shocked how those things can open doors for you. So there was this company I consulted for sometime last year. It's a fashion brand, right? So and then there was this oil and gas group. They normally have something towards the end of the year. So I told the guy, I said, see, you can approach these people and do a free runway for them. And we started the planning, got models and all of that. And the thing happened at Eco Hotels. By the time we were done, these guys started having businesses with some of the top leaders, and many of them are not even based in Lagos. They're based in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, and stuff like that. That doing wrong way of just like 10, 15 minutes, that thing opened doors for him, in places he could, every day we come, he say, I say, thank you for putting that thing in my to say, I never thought about it, right? So you never can tell the kind of doors those associations will open, but I think let's just move on so that we can finish on time, right? So revenue streams. Revenue streams talk about how you can make money. Let's use another business for revenue stream. So how are you making money now? What other things can you do to make money? Who else wants us to use their business for discussion tonight? Right? How are you making money now? How else do you think you can make money? Right? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody. So revenue stream basically says, oh, this is how money comes. So there's someone I met, was it 2 or 3 Fridays ago? The guy also does logistics, this driving thing, but the way he runs his business, he runs a logistics business as a subscription-based kind of business. So he has a car, or he has different cars anyway. So then he has drivers who service companies. They drive their top executives around town, and then they pay them monthly. It's a subscription model, the same um, Uber that people do, but he gives the car and the driver to the people. They use it, so they already have their plan, maybe per mileage or whatever. But he told me that they usually pay him at the end of every month. So he has different cars like that, servicing different people. That is a subscription model inside logistics, right? So where pay as you go is good, but can we think of other things? Because when we are talking about scaling, you can make money from the same market using different means, having different streams from the same market. I know we've heard of multiple streams of income, right? Multiple streams of income does not mean it has to be different businesses. It can be the same business, but then you have different revenue streams from the same business, from the same market. So you can then scale your market and say, okay, maybe for this market, this is what I'm offering. For that market is what I'm offering. That is why people have premium services, right? So there is premium subscription. The same WhatsApp we are using, there are people who are using premium WhatsApp just by getting themselves, is it validated? What do we call it, right? So, and then they get that blue badge. The same thing with Facebook, but it is a revenue stream for Facebook. That is outside of Facebook advertisement, right? So that is outside of other services that you get on Facebook, right? So think about it. How can you have different revenue streams? Then your cost structure. Your cost structure talks about two things: your operating expenses and your capital expenses. Your operating expenses, you pay rent, you pay taxes, you pay, all of that. So look at your operating expenses. Then what are the capital expenses? Maybe you need to buy land, you need to buy, have your own building, build your own store, build your school, so those are capital expenses. So your cost structure will determine a great deal, how much revenue you're going to make at the end of the day. Because if you are spending more than you make, then you may not be able to break even, right? So you need to look at your cost structure. How can I reduce costs drastically? So list your expenses, look at the things you spend money on, and then ask yourself, is this expense really, really, really that important? If it's something you are doing on your own, can you outsource? That's what some organizations have done now. They outsource security, they outsource HR, they outsource, because having all of those staff paying the overhead and all of that is more expensive than having someone who comes in maybe once in 3 months, who comes in twice in a year to look at your business, and helps you to put things in place. So it could be cheaper outsourcing some things. So look at your cost structure and then be sure that you are actually good, right? Then the last part of the business model canvas is your engine room, which are your activities, your resources, and your partners. Activities means that what are the critical things that you must do for this business to succeed, right? Your resources are the critical things that you must have for this business to succeed. Then your key partners are the critical people you must work with. So I said, Ayo mentioned it the last time when he was talking about ensuring that they move their goods in line with government approved standard. So for his line of business, government is a critical partner. If he doesn't align with the set standard, he stands the risk of losing his business, losing his license, right? So you need to understand who your critical partners are. For some of us, your partner, so if let's say you run a school, for example, your partners are your teachers. If your teachers don't believe in your vision, if they treat the pupils or the students anyhow, you will lose them, right? So they are your critical partners. Your partners could be your suppliers. For those of us in the food business, your partners could be your delivery guys. They can mess you up. and they can raise you up, right? So it's important that one is able to identify the critical people, So maybe another key partner for some of us will be investors, the people who will bring their money for us to scale the business and do real big things, right? So let's look at it, holistically. Like I said, I just want us to close now, right? So, what are the critical activities that you need to do for your business to succeed? Critical, those are the key activities. Then, your key resources. What are the things you have? Is it people? Is it materials? Is it knowledge? Is it a special skill that you have? So look at your key resources, because those things stand you out. So we proposed a solution to communications at the beginning of this interaction, and there was something I said that, see, when you begin to think in that direction, like, what are people already doing, and how can I position myself differently? This is the model of OP and Money Point, right? So we always had issues with payment. For those of us who were going to the market, you understand what I mean. You will transfer money. Have you seen a lot? You will now stand there sometimes 1 hour, 2 hours. You are waiting for a lot, But some people saw the problem. They came with superior technology. Pam pam, in seconds. Pam pam, you see the alert, transaction done, right? So you need to understand the key resources you have. The technology, especially, that is one vital key resource. Technology, how can you leverage on technology, to scale what you are doing presently? How can you? Somebody said those guys are wizards, right? So how can you use technology, especially to scale what you do now? I remember in one of our conversations, Bob said something that, which is what I believe too. Every business should start thinking of themselves as a technology business offering so service, right? So, for example, Pamela is into a technology business that offers door-to-door food delivery, right? Eyo is in technology business that offers um, freight and forwarding services, right? So we need to begin to think on how we can scale with technology, because over time, if we don't, some guys will come from nowhere and they will take over that business, And once somebody can scale technology massively, I'm telling you, people will find out that they can do the same thing easier, they can do it faster, they can do it cheaper. That's what technology offers: easier, faster, cheaper, right? So can you find a way to get your business done easier, to get it done faster, and to still get it done cheaper? So think of the resources you can leverage on, that you need to own for your business to be able to achieve that. And once you begin to think in that direction, boom, then you are on your way to your billion naira mark. So we'll still talk about naira now. Very soon we will change our language to dollars. All right, good, good, good. So I think we've come to the end of it. So this is an activity for each one of us, right? So what do you do? I help so customers to achieve so results or solve a problem by providing so that they can have a desired transformation. So I want us to think about it, right? And try to write down your own business value proposition. I help so customers to achieve this result or solve this problem by providing this product or service so that they can have this desired transformation. I like to close with this. Your business model is a living document. As your market changes, your business model must evolve, must evolve. So at the end of this conversation, look at those 9 pillars and sit down and create your own business model canvas. Like I said, once you can scale any of the legs of the canvas, you are on your way to improving your revenue. And once you improve your revenue, then we are looking at, um, you growing really big, right? So, can I take one or two questions as we wrap up tonight? Or somebody wants to share with us something they've added to their knowledge as a result of the conversations? Let's take one or two feedback, right? So, what's your take home from this conversation, and then what are you going to do differently, as a result of what we have shared tonight? Anybody want to be good, right? Who wants to share with us?
Yeah. So let me start. Thank you, sir, for this eye-opening class. I think one of the things I've gained is the need to join trade associations. Yes, yes, it's one of the things I've gained to join trade associations, and these questions are quite thought-provoking. And at the end of the day, once you're able to attend to them, it brings clarity. That is what I can see from this class and the questions you've posed even from the beginning of the class. I think those are just my thoughts for now.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for the feedback. Right, any other person? Can we take one more? We have some silent people today, right? I think we also have another first time. Olajumoke is joining us for the first time, right? I know that, right? So, Mr.
Yeah, good
Phillips
evening,
is not
sir.
here. Good evening. Yeah. So, what's your take home from tonight's conversation?
Okay, sincerely, thank you. God bless you, sir. So, it's a whole lot, and I'm into this educational sector. I'm into school business,
Yeah.
and with the whole of what I've learned tonight, I'm beginning to see school business in another aspect. Though there are things we've been doing or I've been doing personally, and I'm not actually concentrating on them. So with all I've learned tonight, I'm beginning to concentrate on them. I'm beginning to see how to harness some resources to myself, not pushing money out, and I'm seeing how I can also incorporate such stuff so that it will help the main business too. And that's maybe in terms of textbooks, uh, probably selling them, selling to others, and all of that. Still in the same business and expanding. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, and I want to say thank you for tonight. Let's keep it that way.
All right. All right. Amazing. Amazing. All right. So I want to make an appeal to everyone on the call tonight and for those catching up on YouTube. So one of the things I realize is that it's easier to do something when you are also teaching it. So I want to create a tribe of growth champions, and those are people who would create time once in a month to step down the conversations we have in the growth factory to their own community, right? So you have friends, you have people. So what we do is to create a discussion outline that will guide the conversation. So it helps you to know what you should be talking about, right? So at the end of the month, you choose your own tribe, you have your own people, and then you just use the conversation and then as conversation starters, and then you step it down. So what I've realized is that in the course of teaching other people, then you are also able to internalize the lessons, right? You're able to internalize the lessons. So I want to say that if you don't mind, if you want to join the champions, my vision is that by next year I want to have 100 champions by next year. By this time next year, we should have 100 champions, people who are also training other people, to to grow their businesses, to use knowledge, the right knowledge to be able to grow their businesses. So if there's something you want to be part of, I would say that's just you can shoot a mail to soafrica@gmail.com, or you can send me a DM, on any of the platforms, and then you will be added to the Growth Champions group, right? So remember, we always say this: you don't build billion-dollar businesses by luck. You build with clarity. You build with clarity. You don't build by luck. You build with clarity. So I also want to encourage that please, 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 please subscribe. Subscribe to Boardroom NG. Just go to YouTube, look for Boardroom NG, subscribe to the channel, join the Growth Factory WhatsApp group. We are going to be having a lot of ginger in the course of the week. So join the WhatsApp group bit.ly/100x_growth, and let's do this together. I saw a hand while I was wrapping up. Is the hand still up? Who was that? All right. Oh, I thought I saw
Sorry,
it.
that was me. Apologies, please.
Oh, all right. All right. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone. In a short while, the video will be uploaded on YouTube. Please share it with all your friends, all your contacts, even your enemies. Let them know that you are not their enemy and that you like them. All right. So share the link with them, share the video. Let's relive it over and over again. And we may not have a live class again this year. I want to take a break in December, and then we go full force in January. But for members of the growth, what did I call the name again? The growth champions. Yes, for members of the growth champions, we might have some sessions in December to get us ready for 2026. So we'll be communicating more on that on the group. So please join the champions and let's build together. It's going to be an awesome journey, I tell you, because there's something about teaching, about learning and sharing with other people. Whatever it is you share, you get better in it, you get bigger in it. And that is a promise to someone. All right, let's enjoy the rest of our week. It's going to be a really beautiful week for you. I see your business exploding, right? So you are a billionaire. Think like one, act like one, and before you know it, boom, your value is going to rise beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night and see you soon. Catch up with all the replays of the other videos. Boardroom NG. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you for